Verse 3. Remember them that are in bond, as bound with them, and them which suffer adversity, as being yourselves also in the body.
See, this is talking about the body. Your brother get locked up or something, you have to think about, I'm locked up with him.
That's right.
That's why these flea doctrines, the first thing we ask, what we gonna do about the people in jail? Oh, well, see.
That's on them.
See, that the Messiah gonna take care of it. Well, if the Messiah gonna take care of them, what I'm leaving for?
That's right.
Cause I'm outside the jail. If he got them, he got me.
Right.
There's people in their own free cases. If your doctrine does not include your brother, you cannot seek the wealth of enough. Because you ain't included who locked down and can be locked down on a free case. So anybody, we got to get in the mud with them. They hurting, we hurting.
Shalom, shalom. Here we go again. Here we go. Welcome to Mother Africa Be Calling. I'm your brother, Betzalel Yehudi Yisrael, also known as Eric. Yeah, do me a favor. Sometime through this video, hit that like button. If you like what I'm doing, hit that like button and share this video. You know, put it out as much as you can. So anyway, you heard what the brother was saying, and I mean, this stuff is pathetic, okay? This stuff is pathetic. So I'm gonna run a couple scriptures to you real quick as a rebuttal to what he was saying or an answer, and then I'm gonna show you some videos. This that makes a lot of sense, and it actually makes him look like he's not making any sense, which he's not. Let me read this. Acts 18, 24th verse. It says, Yah, who made the world and everything in it, is the creator of heaven and earth, and does not live in temples built by hands. And he is not served by human hands as if he needed anything, because he himself gives all men life and breath and everything else. From one man he made every nation of men, that they should inhabit the whole earth, and did this so that men would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from each one of us. But my point is that I wanted to point out in this right here, this verse right here, I'm going to go, it's at 26. From one man he made every nation of men, that they should inhabit the whole earth, and he determined the times set for them in the exact places where they should live. Okay? And this is the NIV version, Application Study Bible. So anyway, it's telling us that Yah had already set in place what geographical location we would live and what era we would live in. Like, you know, some people were born in the 1800s. You know, I'm born in the 1900s. So Yah had already set in place that I would live in this era from the 1900s to the 2000s. He also set in place the exact, it says right there in the text, the exact locations where I would live. He did that for all of us. And it says so that we would seek him. So here's the thing. If y'all already set it in place, the exact locations we would live and the time that we would live, then if you so desire to leave the land of bondage, because this is the land of bondage, America, our ancestors were brought here, enslaved, and just beaten, tormented, tortured, raped, every single thing. And so over the generations, we have been abused as well in one way or another, just making it short work. I can go on about this. And so we're still in the land of our captivity because we never made it back home, right? And so, yeah, we're waiting on Yah to do the gathering. He's going to gather us from all the places from which we were scattered. Yes. Yes, he's going to do that. And I believe that. However, there is no scripture that I have found that says that we must wait and sit in the land of captivity when we desire to go and leave it and go somewhere else because we have to wait until Yah come and gather us. Like he can't gather us from Africa. Like all of us are not going to leave the U.S. or all the places where we were scattered and move back into Africa. We're not going to do that. But the ones who so desire to do it, and Yah gives them the funds or whatever he gives them, the mindset, the funds, the resources to do it, and they desire to do it, so let them do it. Why hate on them and discourage them? We are brothers and sisters, children of Israel. Our last name is Israel. Encourage. You should be encouraging a person who desires to go back to Africa and go back from the land from which we were stolen. You should be encouraging them. And if you desire to stay, nobody should hate on you. That's what you want to do, then fine, do it. But anyway, let me get another scripture, because he was talking about something about if your brother's in prison and why you gonna run leaving your brother, and I'm paraphrasing, run and leave your brother in prison, and your doctrine should be about like lining up with suffering with your brother. Listen, that is a bunch of hogwash. The prisons, yeah, you have some innocent people in there, but a lot of them are not innocent. Okay, so let's not try to make everything that Yisralites are not doing anything wrong, and everybody in prison that's a Yisraelite, aka African American, is innocent. Some people I don't want them to let out. Let's be real, because I got two younger cousins in my family who died in their early 20s. Like one of them may have been 20, the other one may have been like 23 or something like that. But they died in their 20s. They were shot and killed in the streets, right? And the people, and one of them, it was no reason. He was giving his child a birthday party, and the guy, he wanted to get a reputation for himself. From what I hear, he just used him and killed him, right? And so, do you think I want him to get out? Okay, so he can kill more people. Do you think? I mean, come on, man. Let's just get. It's hogwash. Let me go to, and I'm gonna answer this. Let's go to Deuteronomy 10 and 12. This is what matters right here. Deuteronomy 10 and 12. It says right here. And now, Yisrael, what do Yah thy Elohim require of thee? But to fear Yah thy Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve Yah thy Elohim with all your heart and all your soul. So therefore, whether you stay here in America or in Europe or in Barbados or Venezuela, all the places where we were scattered, okay? Cuba, it doesn't matter. Wherever we were scattered throughout the whole earth, because we were scattered to the four corners of the earth, especially the tribe of Yehudah, aka Judah. Wherever you are, Yah can get, when the gathering come, and he's going to take us into Zion. If you live to see that, and you're still alive when it happens, he can get you from wherever you are. He knows where we are. He knows all things. So if you pick up and Yah gives you the ability, and you and your family leave and flee back into Africa, and you are there, believe me, when the Most High Son come to gather us, he is not going to come to America and look for you, and you gone and he can't find you. So now you're in trouble because you were supposed to stay in your land of captivity. Okay? See how that sounds? I'm going to stay here because, I wasn't supposed to leave, because he was going to gather me from the land of my land of captivity, and take me into the promised land, but I'm gone. So now he can't find me. So now, I done messed up. So I'm done. Come on now. That's just crazy. Let me go here. Here's another one. And this one right here is pretty obvious. And I'm gonna show some videos to bring it home and bring us into reality of this thing. Because this thing about a flea doctrine is all a bunch of hogwash. Oh, it's a flea doctrine that people are teaching and preaching. It's hogwash. It's haterism. It's like you are desiring to hold other people back for your own gain. A lot of these people are maybe leaders of their organization, assemblies or somewhere of worship, and they want to be glorified, so they don't want their people that's under them to lead them. So when they start talking about going to, Africa or leaving, they got to make it seem like it's a bad thing. And so yeah, it's like trying to make them feel bad, like they sinning. And then it's either this or both. Oh, financially, they may take a financial hit. Why? Because a lot of people who are in these assemblies or places of worship, they follow that book and they give tithes and offerings, right? And they don't want to lose that money that's going into their pockets a lot of times. That's what a lot of motives are. So they like, because it's no other reason why anybody will have a problem with their own people who they claim to love saying to them, elder, or whatever they may call them, I'm gonna leave, I'm going back, I'm going to Africa. I'm moving me and my family from Babylon out of this place of our land of captivity. And I'm gonna do this, and my ancestors will be proud of me because I made it back home for them. Why wouldn't that elder, give them a celebration of leaving and go back? All of us, I feel, my personal opinion, should want to go to the place that you are from, that just to, even if you're not going to stay, just to see how it is, and even maybe want to stay there for a while, even if you don't plan on staying for good, because you just want to see how it would have been had you been where you were supposed to be, outside of slavery. But anyway, here, let me hit this last one. 22-3, not 13, 22-3. Give me on that. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So that's saying that when you see evil, you flee from it, right? So ain't nothing wrong with, if you perceive evil, that you can live a better and a righteous, more righteous life at another geographical location, whether that would be Africa or wherever, then good for you. Go there. The key is to keep Yah's commandments wherever you are. He could protect you wherever you are. He protected our brother Joseph, even though he went into the prison. Yah got the power to do all things. But at the end of the day, just keep the commandments. So if you want to leave the land of captivity, I encourage you, just keep the commandments wherever you go. And let me show you, there's so many reasons why we as a people, and I don't want the video to go too long, but it's so many reasons why we as a people should be celebrating. Many of us wanting to leave, talking about the flea doctrine and all that foolishness. We should be celebrating that now we are waking up and realizing that, you know what? We don't have to stay here and continue to take this abuse. Let me show you something. A couple videos that I want to share with you all.
Tonight, the California Highway Patrol is investigating whether an officer crossed the line when he repeatedly punched a woman during an arrest in Los Angeles. The altercation was captured on tape, and Terry Okita has the story.
It happened during Tuesday evening's rush hour. Drivers traveling along one of LA's busiest freeways could see the highway patrol officer follow an unidentified woman across the on-ramp. He then threw her to the ground and repeatedly punched her as she tried to block his blows. David Diaz recorded the incident on his cell phone camera.
So take me back to that moment when you saw them on the ground.
Got you. So when they're on the ground, he was basically on top of her in full control. And he basically really did some power punches to her head.
The CHP officer's incident report says the barefoot woman ignored commands to stop wandering near the freeway. So, for her safety, he tried to arrest her. The pedestrian then becomes physically combative, the report says. A physical altercation ensued as the pedestrian continued to resist arrest, at which point a plainclothes off-duty officer assisted in applying the handcuffs. Diaz says he heard the officer yell freeze, but didn't see her resisting arrest or holding a weapon. He believes she may have been intoxicated or unstable.
This was one, two. If you're trying to protect her, then what's this beating in the head for?
Chris O'Quinn, chief of the CHP Southern Division, discussed the incident this afternoon.
We're looking at every possibility, every fact, every circumstance that have contributed to this situation, and we're going to try to come to a just conclusion to why it occurred.
Highway Patrol officials say they became aware of the video yesterday and immediately opened an investigation. They also say the woman was taken to the hospital for further evaluation, but have no status report on her condition.
Terry. And thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Scott Schneider.
And I'm Dawn Hasbrook. Let's get right to that disturbing video of the deadly police shooting.
Terrence Lee on the live desk with some strong reaction tonight. Terrence.
Scott and Dawn, the reactions are emotional from Sonia Massey's family all the way to the White House. The video of her final moments is tough to watch, especially halfway into the 36-minute clip when she walks to her stove and picks up a pot of hot water. It's difficult to hear what she says, but you can clearly hear now former Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson's reply.
You better not, I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot! Drop the pot! Drop the
19 shots fired.
shots fired!
Not long after Grayson shot her, the other deputy says, "I'm going to go get my kit, his medical kit," to which Grayson responds, "No, it's a headshot. She done." Grayson, who was fired last week, has pleaded not guilty to several charges, including first-degree murder. Today, Massey's family called for justice.
Developments tonight about a Cleveland boy shot and killed by Cleveland police who say he reached for a weapon. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Tracy Carlos. Tonight, Cleveland police have confirmed the 12-year-old boy died this morning, and they identify him as Tamir Rice. The shooting happened outside the Cadell Rec Center on Cleveland's west side yesterday afternoon. Chief Investigator Ron Regan joins us from there live tonight. And Ron, it turns out the weapon was in fact not a real gun.
Well, that's right, but police did not know that at the time, and it looked more like a semi-automatic pistol. But at least twice a 911 caller said he thought it might be a fake.
It happened here at the Goodell Recreation Center. A 911 caller said he spotted a juvenile on a swing pointing a gun. He tells the dispatcher it's probably fake.
The guy keeps pulling in his hours. It's probably fake, but you know what? It's scaring the shit out of me.
And before hanging up, he again questions whether the weapon is real.
He keeps pulling it in and out of his stance. I don't know if it's real or not.
This is what the caller was describing. It turns out this is actually a BB gun. 12-year-old Tamir Rice was shot and killed by police, who say he reached for the weapon after they ordered him to show his hands.
The officers ordered him to stop and to show his hands, and he went into his waistband and pulled out the weapon.
Police say there was no verbal or physical confrontation leading up to the shooting and insist they were responsible.
Federal prosecutors will not bring charges against a New York City police officer involved in the 2014 death of Eric Garner. Garner died after being placed in a chokehold by Officer Daniel Pantaleo. He was trying to arrest Garner for selling untaxed cigarettes outside a Staten Island convenience store. The incident was captured on cell phone video where Garner can be heard telling officers, quote, "I can't breathe." U.S. Attorney General William Barr made the final decision, and it comes one day before the 5-year anniversary of Garner's death, when the statute of limitations was set to expire. Earlier, federal prosecutors explained their decision.
When we evaluated Officer Pantaleo's actions in light of his training and experience, Mr. Garner's size, weight, and actions to resist arrest, and the duration and escalating nature of the interaction, we determined that there was insufficient evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Pantaleo acted in willful violation of federal law. As a result, we conclude that there is insufficient evidence to bring a federal criminal charge against Officer Pantaleo for his role in the untimely death of Mr. Garner.
So in these videos that you just saw, it was all African Americans, aka Black people, aka Hebrew Yisralites, that were either murdered or, what you want to say, unalive, lives taken. Either that happened to them or they were abused. 3 of them, their lives were subtracted from the land of the living. The first one was a woman. She was just beat. Her face was just beaten, humiliated, just treated like a rag doll by a white officer, and his punishment was none. Okay? So, and this is a regular occurrence. Everything you saw is something that we have been dealing with since being brought to this country, right? So there is a disdain there for Black people, African Americans, aka Hebrew Israelites. It's a disdain. I mean, a attitude that our lives are just nothing. We are really slaves that got away. We should be in slavery, and so the anger is there. This is how we are perceived, and it comes out in the treatment. And I'm talking about through government, because the government does not protect us. We are all in danger. Any day, law enforcement can do whatever they want, only to us. No other race of people, only to us. They can do whatever they want to us and expect to get away with it. Even though it's unjust, they can take our lives, imprison us and all, just because they have a hatred in their heart, and get away with it because they have been deputized, or they have their law enforcement, so they have an authority, and so they can abuse it, and the system holds up the abuse. Okay, and so let's run through it. The first one beat the woman in her face as she was walking down the highway. She had a mental health issue. She's didn't take her medicine. All you do is grab her and, and keep her safe, maybe handcuff her and get her some treatment. No, he pulls her to the ground and starts pounding her face. Just pounding her, a woman now, African American. You know how much that hurts to watch that happen, to see that could happen to my mother, wife, my daughters. And there's nothing you could do about it. Because if you then resist or fight the officer, then, you're going to either be subtracted from the land of the living or given long prison sentences like 35, 40, 50 years. All right. The second one was a woman in her own kitchen. She calls the police because she heard something, and her name is Sonia. I can't remember her last name right now. But anyway, she called police, and just because she said out her mouth to the officer, "Satan, I rebuke you." And then she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And he said, "What? Drop the pot and then I'll shoot you in your effing face." And he did that. And she was subtracted from the land of the living as a result. He feels that he is not guilty. Okay. He was just doing his job like a RoboCop. He would never have done that to another person of another race. They feel comfortable to do that. Why? Because they more often than not get away with it. Not every single time, but more often than not, they get away with it. All right, the next one was a 12-year-old boy playing on the playground with a toy gun. Drove up within less than 2 seconds, shot and killed the child. Shot and killed the child less than three seconds, right? And got away with it. A child on the playground. There are toy guns. You can't recognize that was a child. Can't recognize the child. Got away with it, no problem. Why? Because it was a white officer, like usually, and it was a black child. That's all. That's why. Okay. And then the last one. Here's a man selling cigarettes. Illegal cigarettes. He's selling illegal cigarettes, meaning not a drug per se, an illegal drug, but selling cigarettes that are legal, but he just didn't have a license to sell. Right? So officer chokes him out, takes the man's breath from him. He got his hands up. They got him on the ground. He threw his hands up, surrendering, but he tackles him and he chokes him until he takes the life out of him. Nothing happened to the officer. Why? Because he's black and the officer was of white descent. So, Hispanic, white, Hispanic. Not saying that Hispanics are, some Hispanics are more whiter, their complexion is whiter. But anyway, nevertheless, it doesn't even have to be a white officer that gets away with it. As long as it's law enforcement and the victim is black or African American or aka Hebrew, then the system allows the perpetrator to get away with unjustly subtracting them from the land of the living or unjustly incarcerating them, right? This has been going on since slavery and up until now. So why would anybody, especially one of us, a black person in America, get up there and complain and whine about black people, African Americans, aka Hebrew Israelites, especially one who identifies himself as a Hebrew Israelite, recognizing that we are the people of the book? Why would you get up there and run with this fake narrative talking about something about a flea doctrine? What they have done is created a label to vilify people wanting to leave their land of captivity. Ain't that ridiculous for even our own people to sit there and carry on about people of their own, knowing all the stuff we go through, and they want to make a label talking about a flea doctrine for people who are fed up, who are in fear. Some people want to leave because they don't want their children to grow up to this, because now they have an option. They don't have to march with which never worked, holding up signs begging for equal rights and equal protection under the law and all that kind of stuff. They're done with it, and they see an opportunity to go somewhere where that this does not happen. There is no inferior race mindset in the motherland. We are all of pretty much of the same hue. Some may be a little lighter, some darker. Hair texture is the same. So the whole situation does not exist on the motherland. So your children are safer there. I have never heard yet of a African American being pulled over or being assaulted by a cop in Africa because of their race. It just don't happen, right? So, come off of it. I'm talking to our people. Come up off of it. Stop with the bull crap and hating on each other. Embrace it. There is a new movement. We're not marching and asking for equal rights anymore. We're not trying to appease the oppressor. We're not trying to move to his neighborhoods and go to his schools. We are not trying to assimilate, but we're also not trying to fight with them. What we're trying to do is say, leave me alone and let me go somewhere where I can live my life without being marginalized, being mistreated, and sometimes unalived, and everything that that has happened to us in this country. That's what we want to do. We just want to live a free life, right? And if we find that in the motherland, then you should be happy for your own. You might not want to go because you like your status, and you may have assimilated, and you're willing to put up with the continuous abuse of your brothers and sisters and yourself. You may be okay with that because you like your position or like the money you get. A lot of y'all, that's what it is. You love material or status, being glorified or whatever. You done made it now, you feel, and you will put up with it because it's not something you feel like, the chances of it happening to me may not happen. So you ain't worrying about that. But you want to stay, or you want to stay because you don't have the means to leave at this time. You don't want to go to Africa because you don't have the means, or you want to go and you don't have the means. So you hate on other people that desire to leave this land of captivity. This land of captivity. So therefore, I'm just telling you